this video, I'm going to look at some possible ways that we can work a Bunkai application for the opening sequence of Pinan Sandan or Heian Sandan. Work that on a heavy bag. Now, it might seem strange that we're doing a Bunkai application because that suggests or implies that there needs to be a partner. Right? And of course, you have to work with partners when we're working a Bunkai. We have to pressure test them. We have to work with varying degrees of compliant up to non-compliant partners. However, many of us are still in lockdown because of the coronavirus, and so we're coming up with different ways that we can train on our own. And I firmly believe that solo training can be effective ways of training our Bunkai applications. So you can use this time while you're kind of sheltered in place. You can use this time to investigate, to explore, to experiment with some possible applications for your kata or for your kihon. So in this short video, we're going to be looking at the opening sequence of Pinan Sandan or Heian Sandan. And this is that opening sequence where you have, at least in Matsubashi, it's a cat stance into a chest block, step up, and you have these, what seem to be a simultaneous chest block, low block. So this is the opening sequence that I'm going to be working with today. All right, so again, that's simply cat stance, chest block, stepping up, simultaneous low block, chest block, low block, chest block, looking, coming to the other side, the cat stance, chest block, and then simultaneous low block, chest block, low block, chest block. All right, so how am I thinking about this? Well, one, I'm thinking about it in terms of a kind of preemptive strike. Now, what's interesting to me is in Matsubashi, as you're stepping out, this right hand is coming up, around, and then you're sinking into that cat stance, into this chest block. Well, what I'm thinking here is in terms of reaching out, pulling a limb down. The person's arms might be up. You're trying to clear a path to his head to strike. And this chest block, I'm thinking about not so much as a chest block, but an uppercut strike. Now you'll notice in an uppercut, you're ending in that basic chest block position. So what I'm thinking about here is this hand is coming out. I'm pulling a lead hand down, pulling it away from his head, and then I'm getting off to the side of the enemy, away from his other striking hand. So I'm controlling this one striking hand, getting away from his other striking hand, and uppercut strike. Now, the kata shows only once, but you can hit as many times as you want. And hopefully he drops. But if not, a possible response would be he might decide to cover. You're controlling one of his limbs, so his other hand he might cover. Well, you've got to now deal with his cover. So when we see these motions, right, one hand, I think about it in terms of one hand coming down, one hand coming up. Well, if I'm already controlling one limb and striking, his other limb is covered, now this hand is going to reach up, grab that hand that's covering, pull it down, while the other hand comes up for another uppercut strike. Now notice that in the kata you're coming up this way. I see that as closing the gap, because if I'm here striking, I can't reach with his other hand. So I'm going to pull that limb down and slide up to close the distance and strike. And that's basically that position, right? Low, high. So one hand coming down, one hand coming high. So I'm striking. Hopefully he drops, but he might cover again, right? In which case the kata says, well, do it again. Well, if I'm striking and I'm pulling this other limb down, if he covers, I'm going to grab that covering hand, pull it down, strike again. Right? Then what? Well, if he's still covering, he's still with you, you got to do something else at this point. Well, the kata says, all right, go to the other side, right? So I've got, here's my uppercut strike, he's covered, pulling down, uppercut strike. All right, he's still with me. So the kata says, go to the other side, right? So I'm going to use that wind up for the chest block, as striking the back of his head, pulling him around, disrupting his posture, peeling him back, and now that other chest block will be another uppercut strike. So we've got the 2 strikes here. Okay, I'm going to then come this way. That's going to be hitting the back of the head, pulling him around, exposing his head and neck, and striking again. So we can work those shadow box, or we can also work it on the heavy bag. Right? And that's what we're going to do here. So I've got my belt tied around to kind of simulate limbs. So we're going to start then with, I'm just going to hold it with this hand as, you know, just sort of as if that limb is there. So the opening sequence, I'm getting off to the side into that cat stance and chest block. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to reach up, grab this limb, pull it down, get off to his side, and I've got my uppercut strike. Yeah? And I'm going to strike a few times if I want to. Now I'm going to imagine his other free hand is covering his head and face. So I need to do something to get rid of that other limb. So I'm going to reach up with that striking hand, pull his limb down as I then close the distance and strike with the other hand. Okay? So that's this position. Yeah? So I'm striking, he's covering with his other limb. So I'm going to reach up with that striking hand, pull his limb down, strike again. Okay? I'm going to imagine he's still with me, he's covering up again, I've got to switch up. So from here, I'm going to grab that limb that's covering, I'm going to strike the back of the head, that's the wind up for the chest block. I'm going to hit the back of the head, grab his chin, peel around, and I'm going to still strike the heavy bag to get that other strike in. So here, strike it, and back away. Okay? So again, I'm going to reach up, pull that limb down, off to his side, strike, he covers, I'm going to pull that limb down, strike, he covers, strike again, he covers, do something different, here, pull around, hit, and back away. So let's do that a little bit faster. And away. And then you would just do it to the other side. Yeah? So again, that's the opening sequence of Pinan Sandan or Heian Sandan. Reaching up, so it's this, right? So I'm reaching up, pulling that limb down, getting off to his side, striking, he covers. I pull that limb down, close the gap, strike, he covers, pull his limb down, strike, he covers, grab that limb, strike the back of his head, peel him around, and then strike as I'm peeling around. So play with that. Hopefully that gives you some ideas of how you might work your Bunkai in solo training on the heavy bag.